I need to get more shredded. I need to impregnate more virgins. I need to get more shredded. The funny thing is, my spirit is so powerful. It's like I just have to remember who I am. I've done so much in my life. God has blessed me with so many different things. God has blessed me with so many different talents. God is the force we cannot control. God, the universe, saying I am God or I am one with God just basically means I have no control. And especially when I used to lose control and go on binges and do a bunch of drugs and eat a bunch of processed foods, I only lost control because I was not happy, or I could not physically bear the feelings that I was going through when I did have control. I was so addicted to the drugs, I was addicted to the feelings, I was addicted to that identity so harshly that it had to get really, really dark. It had to get really, really bad for me to actually make a meaningful change. It's when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change. I'm not saying smoking cigars. I'm not saying smoking cigars is a bad thing and you're just rewarding yourself just jerking off. But what I'm actually saying there is your feelings are motivators for survival. You only do things if your brain, your animal brain, your subconscious animal programs think that this is going to give me dopamine and increase my chances of survival. It's a very tribal mentality. You don't want to show any weakness. You only want to show strength. So you always joke around with all your friends. But when it comes to asking that girl out, you're nervous and you don't want to go talk to her because that's fear, that's isolation, that's rejection. You don't want to feel rejection. It's better to be a calm, happy loser than a stressed failure of a winner, right? Most people would rather not even fight and not even attempt the loss and just choose safety. And that's the problem with modern society. Most people in this world will choose safety and easiness instead of power, fucking competition, and actual hardship and true fulfillment and rewards. Most people nowadays, they don't have the mental bandwidth to go out and achieve what they need to achieve. It's crazy in my mind. That's why I see people using their conscious will and just living in complete cowardice. I walk into a store and I see people, the moment they have a conscious thought, they immediately pull out their phone and they start scrolling so they don't have to use their brain. Your brain is the chooser, the decider. Your subconscious mind is just the part that shows you images and that has repetitive thought loops. Your subconscious mind, aka the superconscious mind of God, the natural, what's the word I'm looking for? The natural force that drives all things. That is the subconscious mind. So those repetitive thought loops you feel, it's like when you're driving in the car and then you accidentally start thinking of some music and you have some music stuck in your head, the words are stuck in your head. Yeah, that's called a thought loop. That's called a demon. Anything that takes you away from the present moment, the greatest gift God could give you, Christ consciousness. Anything that takes you away from your perspective, from your present moment, is Satan, is a demon. Because listen, demons can only possess an empty vessel. That's why you see so much stuff on the TV when there's all this fear, all this anxiety, all this pain, all this death, all this violence, suffering, so much fear on the TV. Because once they spike your fear response, then your mind is empty, and then they can program you with repetitive thought loops that are going to repeat and repeat and repeat unless you have a stronger thought loop that can overcome it. Life is difficult. No matter what you do, you can always decide and change what direction you move in. You choose who you are. You choose your choices. Nobody can piss you off unless you're aware of it. It's like when I'm knocking on doors, I'm not thinking about really sometimes I think about my family. I'm not thinking about all my friends up north in my hometown, or I'm not thinking about the lions and tigers in Africa or the fucking Antarctic penguins, all that shit. I'm only thinking about what is in front of my eyeballs, what I'm actually aware of. So if a bunch of my friends are talking shit behind me back, insulting me, I'm totally fine, I'm chilling, I'm happy, I'm living a life, I'm connected to something else. And then the moment I'm actually aware of all those fucking dark things they said about me, then it brings your spirit down. Nothing can fuck with you unless you are aware of it. So by definition, your consciousness, your awareness, your vision, your choices determine your reality. It's not just the environment. It's not just the environment that programs you. You could have an alcoholic father and then the kid turns up to be an alcoholic. Or you can have a kid raised in the same household and then he never touches a drop of alcohol in his whole life. It's not just the environment that programs you. It's your choices, your response to the environment. And you may not understand. You may not have a clear path. You may not have it all figured out. But you have to realize all you have is all you need. I could become a fucking god. Literally. But I'm still gonna sit around wasting time? The fuck? It's like whenever I smoke weed, it gives myself the excuse that, oh, I am not following my word, I am not disciplined, I'm not doing what I said I would do, I am not in a state of resistance, I'm in a state of fucking submission and cowardice. It just makes you more submissive, gives you less power, makes you more gay. That's all it does. Gay means I don't want to do the hard work, I want somebody else to do the hard work for me. Gay. So if there's one thing that I could tell the youth, the masses, it would be this. Put yourself in an environment where you can trust your instincts. It's like, bro, you have natural proclivities, you have feelings, you have urges, you have cravings, you have thought loops, you have habits. There are things you can't control, but there are things you can control. Pretty much one of the only things you can really control is where you take your body. It's what you react to. You don't really control how you react. You control which vision to react to. I could talk to one of my hometown buddies who I've never seen in years and years and years, my childhood friends, and I'll be like, hey, how you been? What have you been up to? And then their brain is literally just going to picture an imagination. It's going to show them some vision of what they've been working on the past few years or whatever it is. And the reason why that's important is because they don't really choose their reaction. You can't really control your reaction. You only control what you react to. If your mom comes up and starts yelling at you, blah, 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 you got to clean your room, blah, 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 all these problems, you got to clean the kitchen, you have chores to do, blah, 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 your instant reaction, you don't really have control over. You can choose to not react. You can choose to react with love, or you can choose to react with pain. But you don't really control the reaction after the first second. You just control your intention and the direction you want to move in. That's all you control. You control your intentions. So when I'm on the door and I give it a knock and I have a big full breath of air and I speak to them and I say, hey there, how you doing today? So that's just it. You can't control every single little atom of your being, but you can control your will, your willpower, what direction you move in. That's just it. So instead of telling myself I'm the most disciplined man in the world, and I'm gonna go hang around with a bunch of guys smoking weed and eating food all day while I'm hungry and withdrawing from weed, not really the smartest decision, because you have to fight your own brain. You have to resist your own urges. You have to resist your own fucking, what's the word? You have to resist your own will. You have to resist your own fucking desires. And that's not really, it's just not easy. So when I see a guy like Tate drinking tons of coffee and smoking cigars all day and training super hard and just fighting all day and working and then eating food at the end of the night, lost my train of thought. But when you're eating food at the end of the night, that's why Tate does all of those things, like doing loads of push-ups and training and sparring and working hard and drinking coffee and smoking cigars, because all of those things make it easier for him to trust his will, for him to trust his instincts. And at the end of the day, he's just a man, I'm just a man. We're not gods, we're not special. We're just animals, human animals, reacting to different environments. So if you want a different life, how about you react to different environments? Until you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So when I'm up north and I'm hanging out with my hometown buddies and they're all smoking weed all day and they're all eating processed foods and they're all just rewarding themselves, living a degenerate lifestyle. It's just degenerate. Living a degenerate lifestyle. That's truly the word for it. So if I'm really hungry and going through withdrawals and I hang out with them, my brain is going to show me a million different images of me doing drugs, smoking weed, eating all the eating all the fake processed foods, doing all that bullshit. So in that environment, I can't trust my instincts. I can't just give in to my feelings. And this is where you really dive deep down into it. Your subconscious programming, you become greater than your environment. How do you do that? By making it a survival necessity that you do what you feel like. If I have not drank any water, if I have not had any food for a long time, the only thing I'm going to be thinking about is food and water. So my friends are walking up to me like, haha, Liam, look, weed, smoking weed, processed foods, weed, food, weed. That's not going to activate my dopamine receptors because I am fucking starving for sustenance, starving for water and food. Those little Doritos, those subconscious, disgusting, chemical, man-made monstrosity foods are not going to hit your dopamine receptors. Tate drinks coffee and smokes cigars and spars and trains hard all day because it makes you genuinely feel like you want to keep working. It makes you feel like you don't want to just reward yourself. If Tate was scrolling on TikTok and laying around and eating food all day, he would want to keep eating food all day and just laying around. So when I wake up and I do a bunch of push-ups and I eat a lemon and I drink coffee and I smoke a cigar and I get ready for the fucking doors, all of those things make it so I can trust my instincts even more. Makes my will, my discipline, my spirit, my aura stronger. Why would you do something that makes you weaker unless you don't want to continue on the path you're on? The only time people would smoke weed, or the only time people would reward themselves and try to avoid their own present moment, avoid the subconscious, is if they don't have what they want. So if you don't have what you want, you got to get more shredded. I often think about, do I want to, well, obviously I have to give up weed because that's not doing me any favors. Really not doing me any favors. What would be the best path forward in right now, in my environment, Liam Danger Ross? Give up weed? Yes. Give up women? I want to be in control. I want to post videos on social media. I want to get shredded. I want to have sex and impregnate women and raise children. I probably could be happy with just one, but I will not be fulfilled unless I have a bunch. So I'm not going to focus on banging some six. Because that's not really the point, is it? You don't really need to be focused on banging some six in the club or dancing to the music with your friends and drinking alcohol and trying to get your pee-pee wet and bang some six. Because your priorities are out of order. Your feelings are motivators for action. Your feelings are motivators to increase your chances of survival. Your feelings are motivators for survival. When you see a pretty girl, you want to have sex with her, yep, that's just survival. That's the subconscious survival programming. The conscious mind, the part you're aware of, the part you control, can then go back and think back and forth. Do I want to have kids with this person? Do I want to just have fun? Do I want to just like spend a fun night here? Do I want to just hang out? Do I want to spend time with her? Do I want to have a family and children forever with her? And it's not really what it's all about. You have to trust God. You have to trust your instincts. All this time, you've been moving in the same position. Forward. No matter what, you're going to be one with God. So don't just trust your instincts. Get more shredded. I really need to step it up in this voice note. I can't just keep saying, oh, get more shredded, get more shredded. That is the first thing on my mind, on my subconscious. Do more, be better, move forward, more energy, move in the right direction. And I'm sitting here in my car speaking into my phone like a fucking crazy schizo. Because I feel like it. Because I feel like doing this will increase my chances of survival. That's why I'm doing this. I'm doing this because I consciously choose it. All this time, I'm not really sure what I'm doing. But I'm just speaking. You may think I'm a fucking schizo. I don't really care if people see this video or not. Because the only thing that's going to matter is thousands and thousands of videos. Tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of content. That's what I need. Very simple. Very, very simple. So even you, in your current reality, if you don't have what you want, why would you reward yourself? Sure, cigarettes, sure, addiction, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But what do you really want? I want to simply, I asked God, I told him, God, I will do absolutely anything if you just show me the way to get rid of my pain, if you just show me what I need to do in order to achieve this goal. And God showed me the vision, and he said, you have to be able to trust your instincts. You have to build a concrete, disciplined, iron will. Absolutely anything is possible. I can imagine absolutely anything. Absolutely anything is possible. Having my faith in God is what's going to help me. Because, look at this nigga. Because regardless if you have what you want, regardless if you're a king, regardless if you're a peasant, regardless who you are, what position in society, how much youth you have, how much power you have, if you're a man, if you're a woman, if you have money, if you don't have money, the only thing that matters at the end of the day is what you are going to do about it. Sure, everything is just cause and effect. That's great. I understand the subconscious mind. But unless you overcome the subconscious mind and you make the unconscious conscious, it will forever rule your life and you will call it fate. So I'm not trying to be ruled by fate. I'm not trying to waste all my time. I'm not trying to be a gay little submissive soy fuck. I'm trying to save the world. That's what I'm trying to do. And the only way that I'm going to get there is if I post more videos. If I have the actual conscious will. It's like, even me not posting a video today sends the impression that, oh, well, I'm guaranteed to do it. I'm guaranteed to do it. It's like, bro, you just have to move in the same direction. It's not that hard. You just have to keep moving. If you keep your focus on the exact same thing for long enough, eventually you're going to win. Don't you understand? It's just a matter of time. Constant repetition carries conviction. The reason why it's called a shower thought is because when you're in the shower, you're completely subconscious. You don't have to think about anything. So your mind will literally just repeat all of those things you were thinking about previously, but from a different frame of reference. When I succeeded, became the best at volleyball, I thought about volleyball every second of every day. In the shower, thinking about volleyball. Eating food, thinking about volleyball. I worked hard every single day, and then when I was in those different imaginative state of beings, I thought about my goal from a different perspective, and that is the secret. When you have one goal and you chase it every single second of every fucking day, and you think about it from this perspective, you think about it while you're tired, you think about it while you're energized, your brain finally gets the whole picture. So constant repetition carries conviction. If you have the same goal and you work towards it every single day, you work towards it, you chase harder, you work harder, you put in more work, closer towards your goal, don't you think eventually you would fucking reach it? Or you would see the goal? You would see the vision? You would know what to do? It's simple. It's a numbers game. Constant repetition carries conviction. I've been thinking about the exact same thing for so fucking long. And it's about time I dive in, isn't it? Might as well get more shredded.